Hi and welcome to the training room at 152, the sister to the treatment room at 152. So in recent videos you will have seen that we are now teaching the fibroblast treatments as well as doing the fibroblast treatments. And actually, as we're going into a really busy season for fibroblast, because as the winter months, especially in the UK here, we don't have to worry quite so much about the risk of UV damage to the skin once the treatment's been done. It tends to get really busy, not just on the treatment side of things, but on the training side of things. So I just wanted to do this video to go through the devices that we use in our training, and also the device that I use every day in the treatment room doing this treatment myself. So I'm getting a lot of inquiries about the training, and the inquiries that some of the questions that I'm getting on those inquiries tend to be, so why are you more expensive than so-and-so down the road? I don't know what devices other people are using in their training. I don't know what other quality they're providing within their training. But what I can tell you today is the quality of training that you are going to get in your training in the treatment room. So for starters, the device that I use is the Premier. The reason I use this device is because it's the one that I use personally, and it's the device that not only do I use, but in the previous company I trained with, we used. So over the last few years of doing this treatment, I've seen over and over again the results that this device can get, and it is a very good device. The results that come from it are brilliant. I've used other pens over the years, I've tried other pens, I've tried cheaper pens, and you just don't tend to get the same level of results. It's not the cheap version that you can get on Alibaba, I can confirm that, where you can buy them for say £200–300. These are regulated, safe to use and insurable, so you don't have to worry about that side of things. And to be honest with you, that's another side of the things that goes into the cost element of training. These are not cheap pens. They're not £200 or £300 per device. They're much more than that. And if anybody is looking for a second device after their training with us, then we do offer them at the same rate as we get them. So I'm going to show you what you get first of all, just in that box from Premier. So obviously you're going to get your device. You get the bag to put the device in as well. So you get your device, and the great thing about this is the level of control that you've got over how much power you're using. This is a really great tool when we're really new to the treatment and maybe just working a little bit slower, being able to have that control over a lower level as we're moving slower. And then as you're getting quicker, you can move up through the levels, and your muscle memory in your hands will be working quicker, and the power will be there for you to use and do as well. They are chargeable cordless devices, which I love. I have had corded devices, which you've probably seen on other videos, and I wouldn't say this is any less powerful, and you do get a really long time out of them. I've never had to stop midway through a treatment to recharge my pen to make it work, or during the day. I always get to the end of the day and just put it on charge, ready for the next working day. Some people do have two of them, so that they can have one on charge, that they're always working at a certain level. But personally, I've never had an issue with the level of power dropping whilst I'm doing treatments. Again, been doing it a long time, so maybe it's just how quick I am. So you're going to get your device itself, and it does come with a couple of these, which are your tips. These tips, I would say, are more training tips. They're quite thick on the ends, as you'll see, and they're great for working, when we're doing our practical, but before we go on to humans, we're working on oranges. They're great for that, but I tend to use a much thinner needle tip, not technically a needle, for the actual fibroblast treatment itself. Much thinner, much nicer, especially when you're in the eye area to get into. And also the connectivity of the tips that I use is absolutely brilliant. The connection that you're going to get, there's no sort of break in the power. So when we're using them, I use them either curved or straight, whichever is a preference on the treatment area that I'm doing. And they are really great. So with your training, what you're going to get is one of these devices, and then in your kit, you're also going to get 10 of the tips that I use. Again, you will always get in your kits, whether it's fibroblast or microblading, the same kit and devices that I use on all of my treatments and all of my in the treatment room. Reason being that why start with cheap to work up to something better, when in actual fact, if we start with something that's good in the first place, one, you don't have to move on from it, and two, it's going to give you the best starting chance to have a confidence in the treatment that you're providing for your clients. So with the Premier, obviously you get your instruction manual with the warranty in the back, and all the different instructions that you can go through on there on how to use the device, how to charge it. It's all really self-explanatory, but it's there if you need it. And they also give you, because Premier and Paxpot are sort of like a similar, again, a sister type company, and they do give you a tube of the regeneration cream as well in your kit. So you get this, obviously it's explained more in training how you would use this for your clients. But that's in there as well. So as a starter kit, you're already straight into being able to just do the treatment. And then with the treatment room training, you also get the Tina Davis aftercare. A lot of you will know this as a microblading aftercare, but actually it's a wound aftercare. So it can be used for, as it says on the packet, minor cuts, lacerations, which obviously would be your microblading, abrasions, first and second degree burns, and skin irritations. So as we know, if you're already at this point of looking into your fibroblast training, fibroblast is doing very small burns onto the skin, shrinking that excess skin back and helping kickstart the fibroblast cells to producing the collagen that keeps everything lifted and structured and looking pretty. So this is the majority of what you're going to get in your kit, and as I said previously, it's a quality kit. You will also, on your training, only ever be in a maximum class of 4, and that would be with 2 trainers. So I've got another lady, lovely Terry Ann, that some of you have already met or seen on the page on Facebook. We're the training room at 152, and she comes along and helps me on training days if there are more than 2 of you. So I like to keep my classes small. I've done bigger classes teaching for a previous company. I prefer a small class. I feel like for your benefit and mine, we're going to get through much more. We get to do a lot more of the practical. I've always got plenty of models that want this treatment, so there's never any issue about the amount of practical, the element of the day that you're going to get. And by having either a class of 2 when you've just got me, or a class of 4 when it's me and Terry Ann, it just means that the theory part of it, we've got a lot more time to go over anything anybody needs to go over again and work through that as a group. And then when we come into the practical session, everybody gets a go, everybody gets an area. And also I like to make sure that people are working on multiple areas. So you don't just do an eye or a cheek lift. You may do one eye and a cheek. You might get to do both eyes and both cheeks on somebody else. But because we've got those minimum small classes, it does mean that you're working on multiple areas before you're going away. Another question I get asked quite a lot is, do you get taught how to do different areas? Yes. Once you've understood how this treatment works and how to apply it, you can apply that to any area where there's excess skin. And we've had some real different areas that have been done over the years. So, you know, everything on the face and the neck, from under the arms, the excess skin on above the knees, lots of tummy lifts, and more recently even the excess skin here to be able to lift and give a bit of a boob lift. Obviously gravity works against that as well, but the more collagen and the better the skin structure there, the nicer the area looks. And also again more recently, hands can give away our age quite quickly. It tends to be the neck, the hands and above the knees that does that. So those are the sort of treatments that I've had come in through the door, and on training days as well. Like I said, try to get as many different areas in on your training day to make sure that you are understanding how to apply it to different areas of the body. And also after your training and on the day, you got given a number that you can have WhatsApp communication, which means that pictures can be freely sent. You don't have to worry about being able to send pictures over message, over text, because we can do it over WhatsApp. We can do it over Facebook. Both give us the tools to be able to draw little lines over the pictures to say, if you work more on this area, you'll get a better lift with this. Because actually when you go out into the big wide world and do the treatments yourself, there's going to be things that you come across and you go, how am I going to attempt this one? And that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that after your training, you are just as informed as you were on that training day. And at no point do you ever lose that. I've got students that, a year ago I might not have spoken to for a good 6 months, and then all of a sudden they'll pop up with a quick question of, am I okay to do this? I haven't actually in that year come across it yet. Yes, that's absolutely fine. Or actually, no, I'd avoid it. That's what we're there for. There's no limit to that. You're not going to get a year down the line and not be able to get a response from myself or Terry-Ann for that help. You're always going to have that there, whether it's a year or 2 years down the line that you come across something you haven't before. So the other thing I wanted to touch on is Sunday training. So I know that lots of us in this industry already tend to be quite busy. Our weekends are full up with appointments, and so are our weekdays. And a lot of salons tend to close on Sundays and Mondays, so a lot of my training will be on a Monday. But actually, as of October, you will also see at least once a month there is a training day on a Sunday. This is so that we don't have to reschedule clients. We don't have to worry about finishing our work that day and going in and doing any evening appointments. Another thing we tend to do a lot of. It means that we've got some more flexibility. So you will see the Fibroblast training more often than not now on a Monday, and then at least once a month with a Sunday option in there as well. So I hope that helps some of you out there. And obviously this also works really well for any of you that are in a completely different industry and wanting to come across and learn a new treatment. So the training that I do here in the training room is recognised and insurable and with no previous history. Part of this being because there is so much support and training within your learning period that the insurance company, particularly InSync Insurance, are happy for you to be insured from the get-go. So you can. I've taught ladies that have been in IT, I've taught people that are nurses, I've talked to doctors, anybody that's looking to come in from any direction. We are here for you. The level of training is there for you that you can actually go ahead and come and train with us. So if you've got any other questions about the training or the treatments itself, please just go ahead, give me a shout. We're at www.thetrainingroom@152.com, which is where you can also actually book online for your training. Training is scheduled right up until July 2020, and there's plenty of dates on there. So you can go ahead and book it now and spread your payments out. Or you can pay your deposit and pay your balance on the day, whichever is your preference. Or you can go ahead to either the treatment room at 152 or the training room at 152 on Facebook, and you'll see reviews about the training, and you'll see lots of before and afters with the fibroblast, some with dots, some fully healed, so that you can get an idea of what this treatment can do, not just for your clients, but for yourself as well. Lots of students end up having a little bit of dotting whilst they're here as well. So like I said, any questions, there's plenty of ways of getting hold of us, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks, bye.